Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk. It's brought to you by the Detroit Lions on the Prowl and the Belly Up Sports Network. Today, we've got some inside information from one Coach Mike Jones. But first, before we get to Mike, let's kick it to my main man, the man of steel himself, Curt Steele.
What up, though? Welcome to the show, people. You know who we are. We are Detroit Lions on the Prowl, baby. Your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. We got your comment cards. We got the question of the day. We got Detroit Lions on the Prowl trivia. But as always, join the family. Subscribe to the channel because we don't have fans. We don't have viewers. We got family, and it's all love right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. But it's time to bring in the man of the hour. Who?
Coach Jones. Who? Coach Mike Jones. What's going on, Lion fans?
Let's get this thing started
right now.
Let's go.
It's Detroit Lions talk, baby.
We're going to get up, and on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Yes, sir. We in the deep. Welcome back to the show, people. Now we got the exclusive inside access from a ticket member himself. Coach Mike Jones met with some Lions staff yesterday. So, Coach Jones, what is some big stories you got from the Zoom meeting yesterday?
Man, wow. It was great, man. It was great. I got the inside from a lot of people. And you know what? The first thing first that I learned is Brad Holmes let his scouting report and he let other members of the front office have their input in the people that were selected, which is vastly different from Bob Quinn. Because Bob Quinn, I remember last draft, the scouting department I think wanted Tua or Isaiah Simmons or Tua or Derek Brown. And Patricia wanted Derek Brown, and Bob Quinn wanted Okudah. So who we get? We got Okudah. So that right there, it just shows you the big differences. Brad Holmes lets his scouting department do their thing, and he trusts them. And that's just the first step, man. And two, we can expect a lot of big things from Derek Barnes, okay? Because Chris Spielman basically handpicked Derek Barnes. Okay. That's let you guys in on something. Chris Spielman had a lot to do with Derek Barnes. He didn't really want any other linebackers before Derek Barnes.
So he didn't like Jock, and he didn't like some of those other ones that were up there. Oh, okay.
He didn't like Cox and those guys.
Maybe he liked them, but he didn't. But they just weren't there when the Lions were ready to take them. Mm-hmm. But Spielman was like. He was like, get him. Like that's the complete guy. Get him. He likes. What's up, Curt?
But you know what? If you look at Barnes himself, now I'm not saying that he's not that Spielman was as athletic as Derek Barnes, because he was not. But if you look at them side by side and look at them, the stature, you know what I'm saying, and maybe how they played the game. That's some similarities between Chris Spielman and Derek Barnes. If you look at them side by, kind of undersized, you know what I'm saying? Not, because Derek Barnes is right at 6 feet. He's not that tall, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Chris Spielman's about that same kind of height, maybe a little bit that same build. So it kind of makes sense.
Right on.
Yeah.
Did we see something though where Barnes had the number 54? Is that correct?
No. That was the Aleem McNeil.
Oh, it was McNeil. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
55 was for 50.
That's weird for a lineman, though.
Yeah, Dan Campbell said that Barnes wants to wear 55.
Yeah,
55. That's what he wore before, so that makes sense.
And that suits him because that reminds me of another linebacker we had that was kind of similar in size as well, which is Stephen Tullett.
Yes. Yeah.
Man, but what other inside information, man? This is something that it's kind of rare. You don't hear this from a lot of shows because they don't have guys on the inside unless they're media members like some are like Reisman and those guys. But even then, they're not getting this kind of access. So what else did you have in the meeting, Mike?
Right. So Brad was talking about Sewell. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about they had a cluster of players that they that they wanted to take. He didn't let us in on the players, but he said he thanked God that Sewell was there, so he didn't have to make that decision. Okay. Okay. He's like, man, I'm just so glad that Panay was there because he was a no-brainer if he was there at 7. He said there were other guys that were there that they could have took, which it sounded like he wasn't too high on them, and he really would have traded back if Sewell wasn't there. That's my take on it. He just really didn't seem too confident in anybody else besides Sewell. So a trade back was probably in the makings at 7. So that's another little inside tip, man.
You got anything else that came out of that thing? Any feeling on the organization itself or how it's run? Did they give you anything on that?
It was just the fact that every person from Dorsey to Agnew to I can't remember the other guy's name. They all were a part of scouting in Spielman. They were all part. It's like a brotherhood because that Quinn Tricia was like a dictatorship. It was like Bob Quinn, dictator over the draft. Matt Patricia, dictator over the players. And it's not like that. And you can tell the feeling, the organization, they just let and they trust everybody to do their job. And I love that. I love that they don't get micromanaged. You know what I'm saying? That everybody hates that. And that's very big that you have that kind of trust in your organization. So
I like it.
Now what did Holmes have to say about the wide receiver position?
Okay, so Brad Holmes, he stayed consistent with. He said, man, he said I knew he got that. He got I'm in ride for us. Okay. Like that was an us pick. He said he's like, man, I knew the fans were getting restless about the wide receiver room. So he knows his wide receiver room was incomplete. Like he knows that. So he went and got a guy and he said, I'm in ride. He said he's gonna play right away. He said he can play inside, he can play outside. He's a technician, he's a route runner. And man, he felt it. He felt it. And he went and he got him. But one player that he was big on was our 7th round draft pick, and that's DeMar Jefferson.
Me too.
He actually said that Jamar Jefferson had the 3rd best speed on tape, per I think it was player football focus or something. The 3rd game speed.
Okay.
Film.
GPS.
GPS.
Yeah, and his reaction time, and he likes the way he looks downfield, and he looks at his next move.
Oh, okay.
His
vision. He does.
Yeah. He looks at his next move when he's going against that guy. He goes against that guy, but he's looking downfield at what he's going to do next, and that's very similar to another Lion legend, who done that very, very well. So it's a lot of things from yesterday, man, that I really, really enjoyed, and I'm just really thankful that I was a part of.
That is cool. One more question from me, though. What do you think? What did you get anything out of our new defensive linemen? Our new two defensive tackles we took. Anything that they said about them?
They first of all they were very high on both of them. Brad Holmes especially. John Dorsey, or not John Dorsey, but Ray Agnew. Ray Agnew said that he said, man, the linemen are the best athletes on the football team.
Whoa.
Yeah,
he said that.
He said the linemen, man, and they are complete athletes. They are 3-down guys, and I really do think there's a lot of pressure on Deshaun Hand, Ja'Shawn Cornell. They're really on the chopping block because those guys are going to be leaned on early.
Trey Flowers next year too.
Yeah, because he said himself they're 3-down players.
Yep.
So and if you know Brad Holmes, he believes in his draft picks and he'll play them. And I wouldn't be surprised if all the draft picks make the team.
You think all the draft picks are going to make the team? Did you get that feeling from that meeting, or?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did.
Wow, boy,
I
that's
did.
some, boy. Look, Coach Mike bringing it with the exclusive. You know what I'm saying? That's that new information that we just don't get a lot of times. So shout out to him, Mike. You know what I'm saying?
Coach
Season
Mike.
ticket holder. You know what I'm saying? Getting the inside scoop from the new Lions brass. Let's kind of get into a little bit more news and rumors. Jim and I talked about this last night when we went live on the DSA roundtable. Mike, excuse me, Jim, what does the Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn expect from his linebackers?
He expects them to use their feet and go right to left, shuffle around, and yeah, I don't like it. I'm just kidding. No, basically he wants them to be able to go side to side and to be able to cover and those things, and wait and react instead of attack. I think that for me, that's the problem that I have. But you do have your jack linebacker, your other linebacker that's going to be basically a rushing linebacker plus the three disruptors in the middle. I think that's a lot of pressure. That'll be enough pressure to where those guys can play like that type of a play. I think they can get some interceptions. Yeah.
I think, like you said, like he wants Anzalone to kind of, teach. And we talked about this yesterday. He's coming from the same system as that Aaron Glenn ran down there in New Orleans. So he knows what he expects from the coverage linebackers because he had Anzalone down there in with the Saints. So, and I know my man Luke kills me for this one, but per PFF, Anzalone has the highest graded as far as coverage skills on the Lions for our linebacking core, and with Reeves Maben being just below him. So
I have to ask you what your opinion is on this. Where does this leave Jelani Tavai?
Oh, I think it leaves him as an odd man out, or he goes to special teams or something. Now, like I said, I have watched him on some social media sites doing this thing. I know because he pops up on TJ Hawkinson's timeline. Guys light. He's cut weight, so he's coming in a lot smaller to move around. So good. I think he's trying to either make the roster or at least put some good film on tape during the preseason. So maybe he's trade bait. He wants to make, I think, a better impression on the coaching staff. So he's taking a concerted effort to make sure he comes into camp slim and ready to move around.
I've got this take. So Tavai, who do you have? It's a rhetorical question. I'm going to answer the question actually, but who do we have rated above him? Right? There's only two traditional linebackers that are going to be playing at any certain time. So you have Collins, I think, starting. Anzalone's going to start. You got Barnes coming right in after him. Then you got Jalen Reeves Maben, because people kind of forget about him. Is there people I'm leaving out? Because we have a decent amount of linebackers. Because I know people are screaming, "Oh, we need a linebacker. We need a linebacker." Right. But in this defense, we're only really using two traditional linebackers. We're using people like the Aquara brothers as the other linebackers per se in this 3-4 set. So it is more of a two linebacker type of a deal. What do you guys think about that? What do you think, Mike? Is that am I reading this right?
From what everybody, what the reports are coming out, it's going to be more like that Baltimore Ravens type defense where they got big outside linebackers, and that's like, man, Austin Bryant, what role is he going to play? Because he can drop back in coverage. Right. Well, that's what he's done so far. But but it's like those type of guys, him, the Okoro brothers, they have the ability, they want outside linebackers. What I'm getting is they want outside linebackers who can also rush the end.
Right.
So Derek Barnes, those guys are, and Harris, those guys are gonna be, man, it's gonna be a competition. Somebody ain't making the squad. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
I think that too.
Yeah.
And it's kind of my hope that they do trade Tavai to New England. I think that would be a good home for him, or Miami possibly.
Additional 6th round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get a pick if you can. Get a pick.
Yeah. It's and you have a lot of guys that are kind of interchangeable. So, and then they can kind of disguise their, especially blitzes. So, because you don't know who's coming, because all of them kind of play the same positions, and they're kind of interchangeable. So you don't know who's coming when. You can slide guys up in the box. You can drop them out. So it makes the defense versatile, and you don't know what's coming. So I like that. Where you can kind of disguise what you're doing, because too many times, especially last season, Devontae Adams have said this for years. You knew exactly what the Lions were running based on based on the alignment of the players on the field. So, they could just audible into a play because they knew what the actual Lions were going to run based on the set of the defense. So, I'm glad that we have. I'm glad we have a defensive coordinator who's going to mix it up and bring some different type of elements to our defense. The next thing we talk about is the NFL stats projects that Deandre Swift will have the best season for a Lions running back since 2013. We know that's the last time that we had a 1,000-yard rusher with one Mr. recruited by Nate Burleson, Reggie Bush.
I think this absolutely makes sense. I mean, we're going to be a run-first team. We have a better offensive line. We have blocking tight ends. We have a new system. I think that there's some things that we didn't run well before, like toss sweeps and trying to get to the outside. We basically ran it right up the lineman's ass and fell down. That was our main play that we used over and over again. But but with Ragnow at center, Sewell, it may take him a little bit of an adjustment to the NFL, but I think he's going to be really, really, really good in this first year even. I can see us pulling. I can see us kicking out to the outside. I think that's going to create a lot of yards for DeAndre Swift. I really do. My only question is Jamal Williams going to be used a lot more than we think? That's the only thing I could see where Swift would have a lack of carries, is if they were doing like a running back tandem there, Yeah,
that's me too. That's one thing I question. When you bring in Jamal Williams, and it just seems like he's going to be a bigger part of the offense and just the traditional, kind of player, kind of just relief carry kind of guy, because I think the NFL is moving more towards a 2-back, 3-back stable, just to keep guys fresh. Especially now with the 17th game, I think that they got to keep guys fresh, because you don't really want to wear a guy out where he's amazing the first 6 games of the season, and then he gets to the middle part of the season and he's like, what I'm saying?
And you want to keep some tread on the tires for years to come too. Running backs have like a 3 to 5 year shelf life, and if you have a few good ones that you can keep rotating in and out, you may get a little bit more out of those players.
Right.
Yeah, I still think that it's possible that he can have 1,000 yards even in a rotational type of scheme with Jamal Williams coming in. There's no drop off. I mean, really, between to me, DeAndre Swift and Jamal, there's no drop off when you take either one of those guys out of the game. So, but I said that they can both be productive. Shoot, man. I mean, ain't no reason why you can have 1,000-yard and a high hundreds, yard running backs in this system. I'm hoping for the best for this Lions run game, definitely. Next up, man. Now this is tough. Now, based on Vegas odds, the Lions schedule ranks 10th hardest based on the projected win totals of the teams they're going to face. Now, that's kind of I'm going to run through this just right quick. So, Green Bay is projected to have 11 wins. Chicago is projected to have 7 wins. Minnesota, 9 wins. Arizona, 8 wins. San Francisco projected to have 10 wins. Baltimore Ravens expected to have 11 wins. Cincinnati, 6.5 wins. The Eagles are the same at 6.5. The Rams projected to have 10 wins. The Seahawks, 9.5 wins. The Steelers, 8.5 wins. The Cleveland Browns projected to have 10 wins this season. 7.5 for the Falcons. I don't see that. And 7.5 for the Broncos. So based on the projected totals by Vegas, that's why the Lions are projected to have, at 5 wins around 5 wins for this upcoming season and have one of the toughest schedules in the NFL. Are you guys buying into that?
Yes, I do. But actually, this is actually a favor by the NFL because we're usually the first or second hardest schedule in the entire NFL, just about every year. So actually, they're doing us a favor by being at 10.
Yeah. It says ranks among the top 10. So I don't know if it's number 10 or.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. But Green Bay always gets one of the easier schedules. They always do.
Yeah,
it makes perfect sense.
I just don't understand how they always criticize the organization, how they always talk about the Lions, but then every single year in and year out, we always got a top 5 toughest schedule. Like they always keeping their foot on our necks.
Yep.
And it's like, man, can we please get at least a middle of the road type of deal here? I mean, we are one of the losingest franchises in the 4 major sports top 10.
And they don't do us any favors whatsoever, officiating wise. They don't do us any favors. They don't do us any favors with the schedule. I got some heat for this, but yeah, it's our first season with the 17 game schedule. You knew we were getting the road game. You knew we were getting the extra road game first. And it's just the way it happens. No, I don't think it's happens at all.
It's not at all. It's going to be about ratings and
good point.
Who can they get to where they can get a great home game and get the views on that 17th game of the season. So they knew who they were going to pick, who was going to play at home during that time period, and we just are an attractive national televised game right now. Hopefully that will change here soon.
And Cincinnati is, and Jacksonville is. Okay.
Right. Right. You know what? Hey, Roger Goodell, take that walk with me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna give you a hug.
Take
That's
that
for
walk
sure.
with me, bro.
Yeah.
He ain't giving out hugs.
Yeah. Not the last news and rumors, just the story. It was kind of like, kind of a wrap up of the draft. Here's 3 storylines that kind of came out of the draft. We just kind of discussed this now. And, the Lions had, we definitely invested in the trenches. I mean, we already knew that. I mean, but they say that the reason why is that there was some lack of skill position talent in this year's draft. You look at, especially on the offensive side of the ball, where it was a defensive, wasn't a defensive heavy draft for the first round, but those later rounds, so skill positions on the defense kind of came into play and what we needed. That's why we kind of waited to get Iffy and Amon-Ra St. Brown into those later rounds, because there just wasn't that talent that was pooled, wasn't that deep in those late to first part of the draft. So like that late part of the first round and the early part of the second round, so that's why they went defensive line to build the trenches, and that they're taking a looking beyond the 2021 season approach. And Jim, we've talked about that several times on the program. They're playing the long game. So, they want to, build for the future, and they're not jumping right into it and trying to make these splash signings. And then you have a roster that you really can't work with.
Quintersa.
Yeah. So those are the 3 storylines coming out of the draft. I just think that, and you really surmised this in your visit with those guys on the Zoom meeting earlier, Mike, that, they're taking the long approach and they have a plan and they're just sticking to it. And, you heard it firsthand from the horse's mouth right there in the Zoom meeting yesterday. And that's just, man, I'm just so happy for you that you had an opportunity to do that, man. That's something that Lions fans, that you just didn't see that. Think about that. Do you think Lions fans would have talked to Matt Patricia last year on a Zoom call?
Right.
Well, they might have. They might have been angry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they probably been giving the finger.
Oh yeah.
Hey Mike, I want to ask you one more thing. So when Curt was talking about them building for the future, do you get any sense that they're actually really trying to win this year as well, or is it really a build for like 2023? Did you get any sense of that at all? I mean, it's just this would be going on feeling probably.
Right. I mean, I heard the word compete a lot.
Okay.
He got guys who could come in and compete right away. So
Yeah, the Pistons compete, but they still lose.
Right.
So
True. So yeah. But I think that I think he has guys that he wants he's more concerned with them competing on the practice field and them showing growth
Mm-hmm.
and then turn it into product on the field. So I'm not sure when exactly he expects to see that, but he just wants them to come in right away and compete. And he got guys who don't have to. Everybody has to mature in the NFL, but he got guys who are not developmental projects.
Right.
You
I was
know,
just asking
when-
because
yeah.
I've seen a lot of interviews where they're saying, "Oh, no, we're not going to try to just lose this season. We want to win games." And Jamal Williams came on and said, "You're going to be surprised. We're coming to get you guys. You know,
Yeah.
this ain't the same Detroit team that you played before." You know, a lot of that stuff is coming out, and I wonder because I don't see them having more than 5 to 7 wins, and a lot of people don't. I don't know. I just get that sense that they believe that a lot more than we do.
All I know is
believe
once
that we
Aaron
will
Rodgers
win.
is gone, it's gonna be wide open.
The boogeyman of the NFC North.
Yeah,
That's
if
what he
Sharon
is.
Rodgers leaves, we're going to all
Yeah,
benefit from
yeah,
that. I think
definitely.
Minnesota wins the division, though, if that happens. But we'll see how it goes. All right, let's take a step over to that Wall of Fame today. And who do you have on that Wall of Fame today, Curt?
All right, we have our bronze members, baby. We got Detroit Drew, Midwest Lion, Bubble Bo, John Kampler, Detroit Lions Talk with Micro Mike, Sub-Z, Trap City Boys Entertainment, Art Allen, the Crystal Wiley, Stephen Castillo, Batman of the 313, and John Martin. That looks like a new name on that the bronze member.
Yes.
And then we have the Latino Lion rounding out our bronze members. Silver members, we got Nomis J, Jason Portis, Cap Ice Cold, and Go
Lions.
All right, for our gold members to round out the Wall of Fame, we got Miles Gibbs, Just in the D, North End Ken, Barb Corso, Larry McQuiston, Randall Flag 606. I always say, man, this guy has some great takes. Randy Prince, the Gridiron Blitz, and the Doctor, Dr. Detroit, is always in. Now, to become a member of the Wall of Fame, just click the Join Now button in the description, and you will find out how to become a member of the Wall of Fame and all the benefits that come along with that on this channel.
Man, this is so much fun. We had Detroit Lions on the Prowl Trivia. We have a good time with that. Here is the question today,
This is a rough one.
It says, how many head coaches have the Lions had throughout their franchise history?
Oh, man. 1934.
It's a round number.
Yeah. So I'm going to say 24.
And you would be wrong. What about you, Mike?
30.
You are correct. Holy cow.
Mike with the guess shot. 30.
Mike just like,
hey, that was a no look, Kareem.
that was like nonchalant, man. I pulled that out of the universe type thing. Well, you're not alone. There were a couple people that actually got this right as well. And our winners today are Rick H. Renault and Jeremy Wrath of Khan. And so we got the Facebook winner is Rick H. Renault. And for Twitter, we have Jeremy Wrath of Khan. So we really appreciate you guys playing and having fun. And if you want to do that, it is on Facebook and Twitter. So now we're going to go to your comments and what you said. I would love this part of the show because we do like to see what our fans are saying. First up is Trinell Harris. He says, about time someone compared ball placement and injuries. I've been saying it. Goff has the best, better ball placement advantage. Stafford gets his wide receivers hurt. Rams are going to find out the hard way. So long from QB. Glad to see you go.
Wow.
Former QB.
Wow.
Yeah, I do see that with Stafford. I see the drops, especially like Golden Tate, people that hadn't dropped the ball. Even DeAndre Swift. I don't think he dropped a pass in college. I could be wrong about that.
I mean, but coming in there and catching that ball from Matthews, that's a whole different animal catching the ball from Matthew Stafford.
Different story. I like Stafford. I'm not a Stafford hater, but you know what? Our guy is Jared Goff at this moment.
Right.
Let's try to get behind the guy and see. And you know what? It's the worst thing in Detroit. You know, and I heard this from Luke G, and I totally agree with this, where the worst position in Detroit is either being the starting point guard for the Pistons, the starting goalie for the Red Wings, starting pitcher for the Tigers, and the quarterback of the Detroit Lions. Come on, guys. Let's not drive this guy out of town before he's had.
They carry a lot of weight, and the fan base give him a lot of grief.
They do. Let's not drive this guy out of town before he takes a snap.
Right. One thing that I want to say is that, you know what, I don't think any of us ever thought about is when Stafford fit those balls in that tight window, what about the receiver on the other side of that pass? You know, what's happening to him? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
Look at Calvin Johnson's fingers, you find out.
Darius Slay, he got a finger broken as well.
In practice. Just trying to break up the pass. Yeah. All right. Carla Brando. Okay. Liking the name. All right. Lynn will give Goff every chance to be successful. I will expect a big year and at least another top 10 draft pick. God, I hope not. I hope we don't. I don't want another top 10. I want to, if we get a mid-round pick, that means we did better than what we thought.
I got to agree with that, though. I think we're going to have and it's not because of Goff, I don't think. I just think the defense isn't there yet. I don't think we have the wide receiving core that we will have. I'm not sure that that's a huge deal right now with the running game, the tight end position, all that. But I still don't see us getting more than 5 wins. That schedule is brutal. And by the way, we're going to do that schedule show tomorrow. That'll be fun. Just a preview, sneak peek teaser.
Bossellini, I don't know that name. I'm not going to try. He says the guy went to a Super Bowl like Lion fans know a winner when they never seen one. Shake my head. Ooh, okay. He coming out. He coming out. Okay. He said they love Stafford and he never won shit. Same old Lions fans. You know what? I can agree with you a little bit. Actually, a lot of it. Because the thing is we're like, man, and Stafford was a good quarterback and he did give his heart out. He was like an Iron Man warrior, but you can't, but at the same time, like it wasn't a successful franchise, so moving on from him and picking up Jared Goff and our eyes as a whole, just being blind to what Goff actually can be and who he actually is that's a big thing, man. Because Jared Goff has accomplished more than Matt Stafford has, besides the passing yards and things like that. I'm talking about just in his games, the places he's been, and how far he's been in division titles. He's actually accomplished more than Matt Stafford. So.
Well,
with a better team.
I don't know about that. Quarterback wins is not a stat. Quarterback wins aren't a stat. It's team wins. It's the team game. And I will say this. Yes, he's been more places than Matthew Stafford. His team has had more success than Matthew Stafford's team. But look at the team around Jared Goff and look at the teams around Matthew Stafford.
Right.
Night and day. I'm going to tell you this. I said this last night, and it's a really good stat or whatever. The quarterback that got us to win our one playoff game in 1991 was Eric Kramer. Let that sink in a little bit. So it's not really the talent of the quarterback. It is the talent of the team. There are times where you have a situation where it's Brady or Rodgers or somebody like that comes on the scene and changes their entire team. But there's other players that change the team. Over in Chicago, Khalil Mack changed that defense with that one move and got him to the playoffs and almost the Super Bowl, I think. I mean, they were really good. They won the division that year. So it's like, one player away, in a lot of cases, and it may not be the quarterback, guys.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at Aaron Rodgers, right? Of all his success, guy's got one Super Bowl, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in Green Bay that started back to back, and they have 2 Super Bowl wins between them.
Yep.
I mean, It's just not about the quarterback. It's about the team itself.
Absolutely, Curt. All right, we got Jerry Benson. Jared Goff has a higher quarterback. Here we go again. Man, they love Goff. Goff has a higher quarterback rating than Matthew Stafford, plus he's excelled in big games. Stafford has an extremely low performance level against teams above 500. That's probably because our team was not good. Best word to describe Stafford's time in Detroit: inconsistent, lackadaisical, choke. A choke is not a word you can use with Matthew Stafford. I'm sorry. He's won the most come from behind wins, I think, of any quarterback. I don't know.
He's a couple games behind Matt. Matt Ryan.
But he had 7 in 1 year.
Right.
Comeback wins. You can't say someone with that many wins chokes. On the other hand, though, when you only score 3 points in a second half with Dallas, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And that was some on Stafford. It really was.
Yeah.
Just saying. So you have some validity to that point, but I can't say choke. I can't do that.
Yeah, it was more inconsistent than choke. Way more.
But some of that had to do with the roster around him as well. Because you can't be consistent if you have all this turnover all the time on your roster.
Absolutely, and that's the main point. I think. I think, Curt, you hit it right on a nail, right on the head. I think it's not one position. We had Barry Sanders before, right? You know, that elevated the team because he was a superstar. It wasn't Eric Kramer. It was Barry Sanders.
I mean, and then here's one thing that before we got Golden Tate, this is how many receivers that played opposite of Calvin Johnson. I mean, just look at it. How many?
Oh, there's a lot.
A lot of guys. I mean, look how the Calvin Johnson's career, the guys that played on the other side of him. I mean, that turnover was constant.
Nate Burleson
until we got
Titus Young. There was a Jermaine somebody too, and I can't remember because they were going to call them the Twin Towers. I remember that, and that guy never panned out.
So you just had a lot of turnover on that roster. What was that? Chris Dunham and all those, Chris
Dunham,
guys. Yeah. So you had a lot of turnover on that
Stafford's
roster. It wasn't consistent. You have that much turnover on a roster. How can you be consistent? Where rotating, and we didn't even talk about the offensive line. That how many guys came and went on the offensive line doing Stafford's career.
Oh wow,
that's just it's a nightmare.
Yeah,
it really is. There's people that shouldn't even have been starting.
Yeah, for real. All right, so next up we have the law firm is in the building. Joseph Murdoch, Murdoch and Associates. Hank Fraley is going to create a masterpiece with the offensive line. I have to agree with that. I like Hank Fraley. That's my guy right there. And he did a wonderful job with that makeshift offensive line last year. All right, Goff is going to have all the chance to win with the O-line created for success and the run game.
I don't think they're done with the O-line. I'm just gonna let you know.
You need to send me your paralegal name. So you mean a paralegal's name so we can tip we put some money in your tip jar, you know what I'm saying? So you can pay your paralegal over there at the law firm. That is a great take. I like Hank Fraley. And I agree with you. I think Hank is gonna give Jared Goff a lot of time back there building a great offensive line. It's just I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. And like I said, as if all the coaches that we brought in, the one that we didn't let out the door is one of the biggest moves that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell did in the offseason.
I agree. I love Hank Fraley, man. He's a good coach.
I do too.
King SJ says, too early to tell Goff. He definitely has the potential to be our franchise guy, but he also has to earn it. I like that. I'm sure our staff will do their best to put the best team around him as possible and give him the best opportunity to earn it. But that still doesn't guarantee it. That's true. That's very true. I think every player will have to earn every position that is given to them on this team. And if you don't perform right in practice, you're not gonna play at all. These coaches are player coaches, and they're big on what you do in practice versus your contract. Okay, so
absolutely, I love it, and I tell you what, we have some really intelligent fans. I love the comment card section of our show because it highlights how smart some of these people are. Well, Not all of them, but some of them are really, really, really smart, and they know their football. And I like to highlight people that know their football and their comments, because there's so much a big part of what we do here.
Right.
But
Right.
today, question of the day for me today is, I want you to give me a percentage of belief in this organization as it stands going forward. We have a lot of inside information today that Mike was so kind to bring us. Coach Mike was amazing. And I want you guys to be able to say, okay, what percentage do you put on your confidence level in that this team is turning it around? They are going to be in the playoff. They are going to go to the Super Bowl. They are going to be contenders. What percentage do you put on that, 1 to 100? Put that down in the comments below. And now I come to my favorite part of the show, the dessert with my man Curt.
Okay, the dessert today is a little bit solemn.
Oh no!
I want to talk about a college guy I watched kind of really firsthand. And he passed away yesterday. Colt Brennan, former quarterback of the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. They found him unconscious in his room the other day, and he passed away. He was in a rehab center. This guy was an amazing, amazing college quarterback. He ran the offense for June Jones in Hawaii from 2005 to 2006. Let me give you some of his stats for his college career. Let's look at his yards per year. His 2000, he started 3 years as a sophomore, 4,300 yards. As a junior, 55-49. And his senior year was 43-43. So basically, this guy threw for every time he touched the field as a player. This guy was putting up ridiculous amount of numbers. His sophomore year, 35 touchdowns. His junior year, 58 touchdown passes, 38 in his senior year. I mean, this guy was, it was all about the pass. This guy was a rock star in Hawaii. I mean, he couldn't go anywhere. I mean, here's the deal. The football team didn't even play on local TV. You had to go to the game or pay-per-view the TV, the games on over there. But that's just how big of a star this guy was over there, and his life was just cut short way too soon. You know, he was drafted by the Redskins, never actually saw the NFL field as a player, but he was an amazing, amazing athlete. And you just hear stories that, that guys that, that never make the league, or, something tragic happens to him. And, he just had, substance abuse issues. As well, say he was in rehab when he passed away. But, much love to his family and to heal from his passing yesterday. But he was an amazing, amazing quarterback in college, and it was a sight to behold. But a funny thing is that with that is that even with all his success, I had some guys. I worked with some guys over at the NCO Academy in Hawaii. If you don't know what that is, that's what I taught. And they were so high on, oh man, we're making the BCS. And lo and behold, that BCS show, they got Georgia. And they were like, oh yeah, we can beat Georgia. I was like, no, you're not. Like, boy, there's a whole difference between playing a WAC team, because it was the Western Athletic Conference back then, between playing a WAC conference team and playing an SEC team. I was like, bro, I don't know about that one, but Colt Brennan gave it his all, man. And that was one of those guys who left it all out on the field. To have a season where you had 5,500 passing yards and 58 touchdowns to only 12 interceptions. His quarterback rating was a 186 for that season. That's ridiculous. I mean, but but I say, rest in peace, Colt, man. You definitely did entertain and played your heart out for the University of Hawaii.
Yeah, I've got a couple of things for final thoughts today, a couple announcements actually. Today at 3:00, we have our gold members only Zoom call. You can interact with us, chat it up, talk Lions. You know, we have so much fun doing that. And Curt, this was Curt's idea. It was his baby. And, you know, I love how we get to interact and get to know the Mike. Come on now. You know, we get to interact with the fans and stuff like that. Friday free for all. You never know who's going to show up. You got to be there. It's live 11:00 a.m. It's early, but that's our lunchtime with Detroit Lions talk thing, man. So at 11 a.m., tell your friends, because we're going to have some pretty cool guests this week. So just letting you know beforehand. I already know a few. So we're not letting you know, of course, because you never know who's going to show up. That's kind of the premise. One more thing on a more somber note in my own world. Lost a classmate yesterday. So I just wanted to wish Tom Cunningham's family, you know, our thoughts and prayers are out to you. And he passed yesterday. So really, we just acknowledging that loss and letting you know that my heart's with you. Okay. All right.
All right. Sorry to hear that, Jim. My final take on this is a little inside scoop, man. Iffy has a bachelor's in economics. Okay. I don't know if any of you fans out there know how hard economics is. Okay. I passed macroeconomics easy. It was easy, right? Microeconomics, wow. I'm not gonna lie. I failed microeconomics the first time I took it. Okay. The second time I got a 3, I got like a 3.2. But man, so we got cornerbacks that are smart. Okay, that are freak athletes, freaking size, that are smart. And man, I just couldn't believe it when they said he had a bachelor in in economics. Man, I'm like, man, that means you had to pass micro and macro. Woo! Yeah. Iffy, you a bad mama jamma. So so shout out to Iffy, man. That was just my little inside exclusive on what happened yesterday, man.
All right. Final thoughts for the show for today is you know, you love one another and be with your loved ones, because time waits for no man, and you never know when you may clock out. So because this make you take advantage of all the time you have here on Mother Earth. And it's hump day, baby. It is Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go in, grind it out. At Wednesday, tomorrow you're over the hump, and you're all about the downhill of the weekend. Is coming. It's right there. It is in your sights. Tonight, it is the schedule release for the NFL at 8:00. It'll probably be out by 4:30 because all the leaks and stuff. But
That's how
it was
the
8
NFL's
o'clock.
Going to screw us this year.
Yeah, but the NFL schedule is out tonight, so we'll be discussing that tomorrow. So and we'll be breaking that down on the Die Hard Den podcast this week as well. Me and my man Shawnee J will be doing our breakdown of the NFL schedule for the Detroit Lions. So as you go about your day, hey, we really appreciate you. So grind it out. You only got a couple of days left. So work hard, play hard, and that's how you got to get down, baby. So you know who we are. We are Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. As always, please join the family. Subscribe to the channel, because we don't have fans. We don't have viewers. We got family, and it's all love right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. You can catch us right over on bellyupsports.com. So go over there and check out the new website. It's really interactive, and they have some great articles by some talented writers and a ton of podcasts. So whatever kind of podcast you want, you definitely can find it over there on bellyupsports.com. And if you're going to buy some Lions gear, now this shirt is an exclusive Fanatics shirt. The Stronger Together was only made on Fanatics. So for more gear that's kind of like similar, because it's, this is a discontinued one, but you can go over to Fanatics and check it out. The link is in the description. You're going to buy it anyway, so might as well click the link below and help your boys grow the content on this channel, because the proceeds of the sales from that link go to help us grow this show. So, hey, go ahead, do your thing, get some gear, and help your boys out. It's Wednesday. Please be safe out there. Continue to love one another and be kind to one another. And just if someone's different from you, just definitely be accepting of their differences, because and give a kind word to someone. You never know when just saying a kind word will change a person's outlook. Whatever you do in life, you know what you got to do, baby. You got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my fellas, Mike and Jim, this is Curt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon.